So the answers to your problem equals your wants plus the multiplication of the needs or have tos, like what you have to do or what you need to do. Um, and you add that with the amount of wants, how much you want it. So how much you need it versus how much you,
Wait,
and adding how much you need it.
wait. Describe the problem because that sounds a little different than what I'm reading right
the
now.
the answer to the problem. The problem right here, the P equals either solving
Sure,
your problems or putting
I get that.
energy towards answering your problem, finishing it.
Got it.
Your W is the wants, your N and H. So if you add your needs with your wants, like
Okay.
the amount of need, like say you had need 8 points of need and 10 points of want, it'd be 18. That's how much your need want value is 18. You multiply it by how much you're gonna move, right? So if I have a 3 movement, like a 3 willpower of movement, and I had 18 want, it's gonna equal 54 points of progression points. Now let's say I had a low need and want for something with a low amount of movement. Like if I say I had a low need, like a zero need, right? Like a lot of shit you don't need, like a t-shirt, a zero need, but 5 on the
No, I think
want.
this is a fine equation. It works well.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out variables. So you got 5 on the want, and then you multiply your movement by um, how much would you multiply a variable of like 5? Let's say 5 was a high movement, so you really wanted it. Yeah, they go 1 to 5, a scale of 1 to 5 stars. So you wanted this more than anything, and
Well,
you did the best you can to get it.
hold on. Just really quickly for your problem, are you under the assumption that problem should be around 100?
What do you mean problems?
Like the problem is that going to be a percentage? Like if you reach 100 on the for
No,
your
there's
problem.
no. Pretend it's like a game, and just throw in numbers, and then you'll find an average. It's like I was saying, like say for instance, if you did 1 to 5 stars per calculations, so a 5 star of any particular integer meant it was maximum value, or you could do 1 to 10. 10 on any particular integer meant it was maximal value. So if you had a 10 on the want, 0 on the need, because it was a fucking t-shirt, a 49ers t-shirt,
Hmm.
maybe two. Maybe you can go two need because if you ever want to go to a Niners game, you gotta have the T-shirt. But see, then you could say, hey, that need. If you're trying to solve the problem of being equipped at a Niner game, then it, then
That
then
would still be want. That wouldn't be a need.
no, no, because if you're trying to solve the problem of being a true Niner fan equipped at the Niner game, a need would be to be fully decked out in as much Niner shit as you could find. So the problem in this equation would be finding shit to wear at a Niner game, right? And so then
Hmm.
your need level would be a 10, and then your want level, hey, the first thing you want, because human nature, first thing you're gonna want the first thing hella bad. The first thing you want is gonna be a 10 want, or it may not be the first thing you want, but it could be the biggest thing, like the most expensive, the fucking Jerry Rice fucking authentic jersey signed. You want that at a 10. So if you go that plus that, um, is 100 is what 20, and then you go up to 10 movement points. If you bust your ass and save all your money to get it, and you save like every penny and you're eating hot dogs, then you could have 10 movement points. So you do 200 progression points per calculated interval, which I don't know how long a calculated interval would be, a month, a year, whatever you want to set. So you'd have 200 progression points towards that, and you would be able to calculate how many progression points once you acquire the item, you'd be able to look back and say, okay, if I break it down according to this thing, this item cost me like 1,300 progression points. You know what I'm saying? Just some stupid equation.
You made that way too unnecessary. Like your movement itself should count as the your what you're considering as your progression point because your movement would be your will to make that action happen, in my opinion.
um, yeah, but then No, because
So
then,
that's why I was like, if you max out your P at 100, then you can see it as a percentage chance that you finish your ability. That's why I was asking for the 100. I was like, are you planning on making that 100? Because then you could
well,
top out
wait.
aim at 5
So
and
you're
get
saying that
want and need at 10,
you're saying
and then
movement
it'd
is
be 20.
unnecessary?
Huh?
You're saying movement percentage is unnecessary?
No, no, I'm saying that that one is that I think you're undervaluing what you can make your movement stat be.
What do you mean?
Like for instance, when you talked about that and you're talking about progression points and everything, I'm like, you already have a movement stat, and your movement stat can basically be the will, like your ability to move to make that thing happen. Say, for example, you wanted to buy a bag of chips. You wanted the chips at like it's like a
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you could move the P. No.
you can keep the P exactly where it's at. Like, no, this equation is perfectly fine. I just think you should. My mentality is that movement. Like, okay, again, you wanted some chips. Say each W, and let's say this is only W and N or something. Want and need. Skip the H. Have to is fine, but let's just say it's want and need.
Yeah,
So
that's what it's gonna come down to. Evolution.
right, right. So let's say both of those max out at 10, right?
Right.
This is my equation. So I mean, you can feel free to change whatever your thoughts, but this is how I saw it. Want to need. Let's say each of those can be 10. Now you're at home high. You don't need a bag of chips, but you really fucking want that bag of chips. You're at like a 9 out of 10 or something like that. You
Yeah.
like, I really fucking want that bag of chips, and so your movement to get the chips is high, uh, and your want for it is high. So you have a 45% chance of going to get that bag of chips.
Is that how it turns out? Wait, wait, wait.
Yeah.
So you got a nine. You got a nine on the want
Mm-hmm.
with a zero need. No, you gotta have like a two or three need because it is going towards
Sustenance. Okay. Okay.
well,
It's
sustenance.
sustenance. You're hungry.
So you need like
Right.
at
Right.
least
You're
a
like, oh
three.
man, I can get a drink. Okay. Okay. So fair. Yeah. You get whatever. I
So
was
that's
just
gonna
giving
put
you an
us over.
example.
That's gonna put the high motherfuckers over 50%, and they're gonna get the motherfucking chips.
Yeah, well, it's a percentage share. You're like, I think I'm gonna go get that. You're like,
Look
because
at the
you also
chips.
have to weigh out. I took away a point from Watt because he does have to get up to go get the chips. He's like,
All right, yeah, yeah.
I'm willing to make the movement,
That puts them at
but
11 out of 20, which is 55%, right? 55% out of the total points available on want and need, which movement.
I
How
think
go?
movement is a fine
Movement is also,
multiplier of that.
huh?
I think movement is a fine multiplier of that. Like that's your will.
Your
Your will
will
to move.
basically, yeah, to get the shit done.
Mhm.
Because you can want and need everything, but just sit there and die with zero movement. Yeah,
Right. You
it
like
has to be multiplied because it could go to zero.
exactly. So then it's like if you literally do nothing, then it works well. Because if you literally do nothing to achieve it, nothing will happen.
Yeah. So this is the actual equation right here. Well,
I
actually,
think that's why I
we
was
take
like,
out
that's
the
actually a
H,
pretty okay equation
and then we
for
take
like a
out the
game or something.
huh?
I think if you wanted to make a game, that'd be a perfectly fine equation.
The game of life, dude. We're always trying to figure it out. No, because if you know this, then you can know. You could basically rate stuff. Like once you start collecting data, like all you'd have to do is collect some data, and then like
Right.
you get like maybe like 1,000 specimens of one instance, or not even that. Like maybe 220 of one occurrence, and then you realize, all right, I could tell you how fast you're gonna get to X, Y, and Z just by looking at you. People gonna be like, dude, how do you know so much? Bro, I could read you like a book, man. Just look X, Y, and Z. Like, all you have to tell me is how bad you want it. All right, let's apply this to a relationship. Um, let's say there was like the hottest chick in the world, like me versus Rihanna. You know what I'm saying? She might not be the hottest, but she's up there. I just saw a picture of her.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that her
that's
right
fine.
here? No, that's somebody else. Oh, that's get the
That's
eyes
fine.
on
That's
there.
fine. Rihanna's fine.
Rihanna. All right, for sure. Yeah. So, all right. So we're gonna place Rihanna in there. So want is definitely a 10. Boom, 10. All
Mhm.
right. Need 0.
Yeah, you don't need Rihanna, but
I don't need her. What am I doing to get her? Zero. Hey, you know, I did one. It'd be like 10 points of progression when she cost like 1 million. Nah, how could you even get 1 million points out of this? You'd have to have like
Well, for me, I was trying to have points be at 100 because for me it represents like a
a
percentage chance.
percentile.
Yeah. Because for me, I wasn't thinking relationship. I was just thinking,
You'd have to tone it down though. The numbers would have to get, like you said, the M would have to get
right,
way more intricate because there'd have to be
right.
like a point 0.1 multipliers. The,
M would probably be more of a tiered system then, you know? It'd be
yeah.
like
Oh,
1 through 5 tier.
like rank one, rank two does different things.
Right. Like right now, I'm trying to get this job at Stanford, right? My
Yeah,
want for
yeah.
this job is probably about an 8. My need for this job is still pretty high because I need some money and I'm broke as fuck. So I would say that's probably like a 7. I need a job.
Eight,
My
seven.
movement is not the best. If it was the best that I was ever doing, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. I'd be sitting there studying my ass off, making sure I'm the best fucking candidate that I could be. But I am still working, so I would say personally about a 3.
Okay. Out of five.
Yeah, out of 5.
Okay, that's his respect. I like that.
Right. So, and if you look at that, what did I say for want? Like an 8,
Eight.
a need a 7. That's
Not
15 times 3. I'm looking at like a 45% chance of where I'm at right now. I
okay.
want that to increase. I better put in some work.
So you're at rank three need, not three intervals of need. Okay, I see that. Yeah, rank one. Yeah, okay. Or rank one of movement. I'm sorry,
Yeah, no,
rank
I
three of movement.
understood what you meant. I
Yeah,
know.
I'm like tongue twisting over here trying to roll up.
I understood.
I
That's
should
why I didn't
I
bother
should try to
correcting.
figure out something to apply this so I can see the future like a weathercaster. You know what I'm saying? Like something I need to figure out something where I can collect a lot of data, but like I said, movement. I guess all we need is to figure out like all three tiers on a spectrum of a certain subject in order to rate it.
Right. I was about to
Like,
say that the hardest part is you would have to make sure, like, if you were really to try to case study this, it would probably have to be for everybody that wanted to do the same thing. Because then you would have to collect the data, because it would have to be like uniform data where you could
right.
collect data on the movement. Like, all right, so what actions did you take? What actions are you doing to achieve this? And then you can make a tiered system. And then you'd be able to more accurately do your tiered system and create like the want. The want is fine because want is kind of subjective, but the need, you would have to like actually gather some data points for that as well. Like, all right, so your need is actually around this.
Well, here's a question though. Here's another question. Is need a variable?
I think needs a variable.
Or should it just be a solid number? Because once you go to need state, it's not how much you need it, you just automatically need it. Like on WoW, when you're looting an item, it's just need or you go to other stuff. So I think need is like a maximum state.
I think it's just either on or off, 1 or 0.
Yeah, I mean, don't you think? Can
Not
it?
really. I could see needs coming at different varieties of level. If you're hungry, and then you need food, but you don't need food immediately. You know, like
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're like at a level one of need.
right.
Yeah, and it gets bigger and bigger as time goes. Oh man.
That's why I put my need at like a 7 because I really am about to get into some financial issues if I don't get a job, really better paying job really soon.
Yeah. All right. So
And then
what do we want to call this equation here? The probability of success.
mine, pretty on the nose, just what it is.
All right. There you have it, folks. Like and subscribe for the probability of success. It's me with Iron Black Mane doing more of that bullshit.